Welcome to the jungle, savages. My name is Baloo the Bear, and here on the channel we focus on the Wyckoff method, we focus on cryptocurrency, and we try to navigate the space so that you're better prepared to make decisions as you come in and out of this market. Bit of a market update. There seems to be some movement in traditional finance, so we'll take a look at what's going on with traditional finance. We will also look at the top cryptocurrencies, and then we'll open it up to you all for some TA of some shitcoins, I guess. Yeah, so why don't we just stop looking at my face and let's dive into the king of all crypto, that is Bitcoin. All right, so taking a look at Bitcoin here on the daily, as we often do, as we always do, as we start off the show here, we're in an interesting spot. So I want to zoom in. We have the channel. That's not new. We're, lower highs, lower lows. That's the macro structure. So the trend is still down. Trend is your friend until it ends. But let's take a look at this consolidation. So we had this bear flag. The bear flag did break bearish. We got a bearish test and a rejection. And now we're back down in the area of liquidity where demand is going to be present. So anywhere in this kind of area, whenever you're in a consolidation, when you're at the bottom side of the consolidation, you're going to find demand. Typically, you're going to find a little bit of demand. It doesn't necessarily mean that the consolidation is bullish. It just means that price action will often stop and pause at that area of demand. So an interesting area to look out for a possible bounce. Let's go down to some smaller time frames. And let's see what we can see. Now, the overall consolidation here shows many characteristics of distribution. So, we've kind of been trapped in here. It's just, there's a lot of up thrusts. So we rally out of the consolidation, we get a rejection. We rally out of the consolidation, we get a rejection. We got a couple tops here that kind of resulted in our really large move down, our sign of weakness move. And now we're continuing that, and here we are again with kind of a bearish consolidation. So let's zoom in a little bit more. You know what? Let's take a look at this on a pretty small time frame for these days. Let's go down in 15 minutes, see what we can see. Yeah. So once again, a few characteristics that I do not like. These up thrust kind of signatures here. A lot of people call them a BART. You often hear the Bart-Simpson pattern. What is a Bart-Simpson pattern? It's a rally that fails. So it's an up thrust in Wyckoff. We've got a few of them here trending down. Yeah, it's just very up thrusty. We rally and we fail. We rally and we fail. We rally and we fail. So there's lots of sellers present. We're not kind of seeing the type of structure that would indicate that smart money is accumulating. So with that in mind, we can definitely come down and test the levels around 18.9, going back over to the higher time frames here. We can certainly test anywhere down in this level. Now, if the test fails, if we break this level, our consolidation will be confirmed as a bearish consolidation, and we'll head down to lower levels, and we'll need to start our Wyckoff accumulation all over again. If I was a betting man, I think that's kind of what I'm expecting, but it could take a few weeks to develop. We just started the new month. We have a new monthly candle. Let's actually just take a look at the monthly chart. Oftentimes that can give you some hints. And let's do so without the drawings, because the drawings are just noise on this chart. So it's kind of a neutral candle. We had a really large move down. We got a little bit of a recovery, not much. And then the very next month, we had nearly an equal candle, nearly equal highs, nearly equal lows, and nearly equal size of the body. So not ideal. I would probably lean towards this being a continuation candle just because of the context of the downtrend. Not a lot of support on this level. You can see here on the monthly chart, we have much stronger support down here. That kicks our drawings back on. But yeah, we have much stronger support kind of between 13.8 and 12.6. We've been talking about these levels for a while as well. You know, I've always kind of been between 9,800 and 13,700 was kind of the target for me. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a continuation. Do I think we free fall? It's going to be entirely dependent on the price action we see coming out of traditional finance. I think if traditional finance kind of just chops around, we're going to just slowly grind to the downside and maybe gently land on that area. But if we start to see a meltdown in traditional finance, we can certainly revisit that area at a much quicker pace. So still quite bearish on the market overall. That's my take. I certainly don't think that we're about to head into a bull market. And yeah. The only bullish thing that I can say right now is we're sitting at support of the consolidation. So if that results in a rally, great. But overall, the structure is still weak. So I think that will be like what we've seen over the past few months here. Every rally ends up being a failed rally. You get a lot of up thrusts. So if we do get a rally, I think it will result in being a up thrust and it will be a failed rally. All right, let's see who's in chat here. Hello, Kettle Bees. Hello, Yo-Yo. Hello, Hodagra. I'm sure that there's a way that I can read that for it to make sense, but struggling. Crypto DGen 1, good morning. Good morning. Big Z 1985, good morning all. You made it to the live stream. Hello from New Zealand. 2 Kiwis in the chat. Good afternoon. I know you're overall bearish, but when you accumulate BTC, when will you accumulate BTC and other shitcoins? Where are your stink bids? So I become interested in Bitcoin at that level that we just discussed, around 13.7 to 9,800. I become interested in Bitcoin. I don't accumulate shitcoins, not in this part of the market cycle. Every bull market, it's a new roster of coins. Not always, like there are some coins that do repeat. So Cardano has been around for a while. But for the most part, all the coins are going to be different. Completely different innovations, completely different cryptos. So I'm not going to accumulate jack shit. Not until the bull market starts. And then I just start trading altcoins. During the bear market accumulation, I will be accumulating Bitcoin. Are you still in Ohm? Yes, I'm still in Ohm. I still have high hopes for Ohm. Biggest problem with Ohm is just nobody understands it, so it's kind of shitty. But the protocol design is, in my opinion, ingenious, and it's going to take some time. I don't think it's a dead project at all. That community is very, very active. That DAO is very, very active. And yes, I'm still in it, 100%. Haven't sold any. Take a look at the 300-week moving average on BTC. Kind of interesting touch points. Yeah, let's take a look at that. The 300 week, you say. Why don't we take a peek at the 200 first, though? We can talk about interesting touch points. How's that for some touch points? Bounced off the 200, bounced off the 200, bounced off the 200, bounced off the 200. Uh-oh. Trapped below the 200, bearish test underneath the 200, rejection from the 200. That's never happened before. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the 300. 300 simple moving average. We got one touch point during a COVID panic, and now we're floating above it. To me, that's kind of weak. It's kind of weak. Not much to go off of in my opinion. Yeah, I think it's I think the 200 is a lot more applicable, and we're trapped below it, so not great. This one has much more touch points. You can clearly see the demand coming in off the wicks, and then right now we blew past it and got a bearish rejection away from it. I think a lot of the models are going to break. I think a lot of the measures of Bitcoin's health are going to break this cycle, and it's really going to test a lot of people emotionally, because you know they've whether they're new to the market or whether they've been in this market for a while, there's certain models that they go to give them encouragement and give them hope for the future, or just give them a sense that they think they know what's going to happen. And I think a lot of shit's getting tested. Now, there's a very big fundamental difference this cycle. Massive fundamental difference. So it's no surprise, in my opinion, that we're starting to see some of these breaks of these models that have become popular, whether it's the 50 and the 200 golden cross, whether it's the 200 week, the 300 week, pi cycle, you name it. I think all of these are going to break. And the equity market has been in a bull market for 12 fucking years. The entire time Bitcoin has existed. The entire time Bitcoin has existed, traditional finance has been in a bull market. That's a huge, huge difference. So when we look at the past, we have all of these data points, and we can, you know, kind of predict behavior of price action. But that was contextual with, you know, equities being in a bull market. Now that equities are in a bear market, you have to throw all that out the window. And we have nothing. We have no data points. We have zero information on how cryptocurrency performs in an equity bear market. So yeah, it's don't get too hung up on the models. And I'm just going to rely really heavily on Wyckoff, because Wyckoff doesn't have any of that stuff. It's really just price behavior over time, and it will tell you when accumulation is taking place. When accumulation is taking place, accumulate and prepare for markup. Not much that I can look at right now. Those candles haven't printed. We haven't had enough time go by for me to be convinced that the composite operator is accumulating. People are way too fast to call an equity bear market. If you look in the entire uptrend, it still hasn't made a significant lower low. That's a fair enough statement. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ here. But I mean, like, where do we have our macro low? Like, how low do we need to go before you call it a bear market? Do you need a 50% retracement before you call it a bear market? It's a fair point, but the macro lower low on the NASDAQ is fucking way down there, right? Here's the thing. Here's why I'm going ahead and just calling it a bear market. This whole uptrend was cheap money. Cheap money, okay? The Federal Reserve had very low interest rates. We weren't needing to fight inflation. We had very low interest rates. When you have low interest rates, money is cheap. That means you can borrow money to put it in assets to receive a yield. You can't do that anymore. You can't borrow money to put it in assets to receive a yield because it's too risky, and you're probably going to borrow money at a higher interest rate that's not actually going to be a net positive in putting it into the indices or the, wherever, anywhere. So I do think that there is a fundamental shift here, but, credit where credit is due. that is a fair statement. We can't really call it an equity bear market until we have a structurally lower low. And I guess we could say that once we take out this level at around 11,000, that will be a pretty good confirmation that the trend has shifted. But yeah, fair statement. Credit where credit is due. Let's take a look at the S&P. S&P coming back down to the middle of this channel here. So this was the area where we talked about the bounce. We got the bounce. We got a rejection from this downward sloping trend line. We might come down to the mean again, come down to the middle of that channel again, and then give it another attempt at the resistance. So still more chop, still more consolidation. Certainly nothing that shows characteristics of a bear market. We're in consolidation, and the market's looking for clarity. The market's looking for answers. And the answers that it keeps getting is money's more expensive, inflation's out of control, and you should probably bail. The entire housing market should have died in 2020, plus the stock market. The Fed and governments changed the game. Until the Fed and governments are taken out, we can't rule out more ridiculous stock market positive policy. So I understand what you're saying, but I tend to disagree because of the fundamental, like, there's smart money and dumb money. Okay, so what happened during, the COVID crash is we injected capital into households, and then what did people do? They put that money into equities, they put that money into stocks, and they propped up the stock market. I think that was kind of an exit for smart money. Because, money is not cheap. Borrowing is not cheap. So that's very, very different. Inflation's out of control. They have no other choice but to raise rates. So I hear what you're saying, but I don't know what tools they have. I don't know what tools they have left to, get the equity market to rally. Some things that could help certain sectors would be, say, a fuel credit. So we could give citizens a fuel credit. If fuel is getting really expensive, we can just subsidize the fuel and inject more capital. That way we can subsidize groceries. We might even go as far as subsidizing household individuals based off of the size of their family. Now that's a huge step towards universal basic income, and I don't think that that's necessarily what's going to play out. I think what's most likely is subsidizing fuel. If we get subsidized fuel, sure, we could see a little bit of a rally in the correlated sectors. But yeah, I do think money's not cheap, and that's just something that I keep going back to, is just, yeah. You could be right, but it's such a coin flip of a call, but that's how we have to invest these days, pretty much. I officially got out of real estate. I just closed on my house, so I am officially short the stock market. No, I am officially short the real estate market. Healthy cash position. I'm prepared for blood, but you're right, it is a coin flip. It's a coin flip in the sense that the fundamentals are really poor, but ridiculous things can continue to be ridiculous. Why would we subsidize fuel if oil is bearish and inflation going down? Inflation going down? Inflation's not going down. It's still very high. It's over 8%. We're likely headed to deflation. We don't have anything showing us that just yet. People are bitching and complaining and moaning, and we have a midterm election coming up. So how do you win people over? What's an easy cheat code to win people over? Give them money, or tell them that you'll give them money. Okay, inflation might be down in the short term, but it's still too high. It's still higher than what it needs to be. DXY, dollar's rallying. We have a new high, new local high here in the dollar. printing yet another bearish divergence here. So I am still kind of counting on a turnaround for the DXY, but if equities continue to fall, obviously the DXY will continue to rally. But if we do get some sort of a consolidation begin to take place, so watching, let's actually zoom in here on the NASDAQ. We're at the area of support. There's this support, which I think is fairly strong. We did have this support slash resistance flip right here, which we did get a lot of demand off of. So we could rally off of that demand and then begin to print our first kind of macro swing, or our first macro higher low, which would just, go into a choppy consolidation. Let's go take a closer look at the S&P consolidation. A lot of stuff coming in for support. So we do have a lot of confluence in this area on the S&P, like we mentioned, down at the mean. We could bounce at this area and then give it another attempt at breaking past the lower high, lower low structure. Let's take a look at Ethereum, back onto the crypto side. Ethereum not seeming to be able to get above the break of the support. So we drew this support a few weeks back. Let's go to the daily. Drew this support a few weeks back. We broke down below it. We're now bearish testing it. Still thinking we come down sub $1,000 ETH. Just for another test of the liquidity in this zone. If we break down to new lows, I do anticipate a further move down, potentially down to like $500 ETH, but we have to take things one level at a time. Inflation is headed down. Look at Trueflation, good app dashboard to track inflation. Trueflation, let's take a look at Trueflation. Trueflation. View dashboard. Trueflation year over year. For the US, what's the UK doing? UK is still trending higher. US is petering off. So yeah, I mean, it's short term, but it's still, like I said, it's still at 9%. That will require adjustments. That will still require interest rate hikes. If we hike the interest rates, in theory, inflation goes down. But yeah, let's see what's going on with housing. Housing at nearly 10%, transport 12%, utilities, really energy's going up quite a bit. Health in the US, I don't know. Yeah, I know this is a cool app. Thank you for letting me know about this. That's pretty cool. But again, 9% is still wildly unacceptable, and the Fed doesn't have too many levers that they can pull. All right, so that's ETH. Let's take a look. Let's see where we're sitting with total. That app is like cheating. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Thank you again. Yeah, I want to see total come down to retest kind of the 830, 850, $850 billion range. If we can hold that, then there's a possibility of a rally. If we break that, then I think we're going to much lower levels. Potentially, the cycle low of crypto could be, well below 500 billion, which is crazy to think that Bitcoin was at $1 trillion and the total market cap was at 3 trillion. And now we're, at least I'm thinking we could hit 500 billion. If the entire narrative is inflation, CPI releasing and poll think higher, you go there and see lower, you have an edge. Okay. Uploads daily. Thank you. You work for these guys or what? Today's episode sponsored to you by Trueflation. Trueflation, the best inflation dashboard for you. All right, let's take a look at some shit coins. You guys got some tickers? Got some tickers for me? Let's go through shitcoin bingo once again. Cardano, honestly, I just want to see Cardano come down here. I've become pretty interested in Cardano at this level. Cardano bear the whole bull market, but I'd probably get down with some Cardano around 20 cents, 15, 20 cents, something like that. Alphanumerics, still no buy signal on Cardano, getting rejection from the 7 weekly EMA. So yeah, as long as it keeps rejecting from that level, lower levels are what we're looking at here. Taking a look at Ape, useless Ape, below the 7, staying below the 7. CRO, speaking of useless, below the 7, staying below the 7. I do like where it's sitting here as far as let's go to a longer chart actually. Who has a long CRO chart? Coinbase or KuCoin? Let's try Coinbase. Nope. KuCoin's always there for your shitcoin needs. Interesting amount of support here on the floor. So you can see we've spent a lot of time in this area here. So I think we're close. With CRO. We just need to get that weekly signal, weekly green diamond on the alphanumerics indicator. That would be a good indication of a value buy. It doesn't mean that you're going to reverse tomorrow. It just means that the market is making a mistake on price, and you can probably capture some of that value. Doge did print a weekly candle, so we got to be getting close. Just sharing cool stuff with cool people. Thank you. I invest in Bitcoin miners. They are good in tax-free accounts. You run miners, or what do you mean you invest in Bitcoin miners? Doge, is it really going to survive the bear market? Doge will always survive the bear market. Always. Doge is a whale coin. Whales love to fuck with Doge. Don't ask me why. Probably just because it's been around a really long time. It's like an OG coin. It's not a smart contract platform. The supply can't really be manipulated. It's a pretty fair asset to trade when we're talking about cryptocurrencies and large positions. It's fairly liquid. It's got a community. Yeah, there's a lot that you can point to. I think it's, useless. I mean, I guess it has a use. You can use it as a payment network, but ultimately I think it's a joke. Well, it is a joke. It was made as a joke. But whales do fuck with it. Whales do take Doge positions. TA, it's nowhere near anything, it could potentially be an accumulation right now. But fuck, I could see this thing going to a penny. Honestly, I could see it going to a penny. Shiba Inu, on the other hand, this is one that I could see trading to zero and never coming back. It is different from Doge. Shiba Inu has, a lot of bullshit in its smart contract. It has a tax. It has a whole bunch of stuff that was probably just going to be a smart contract fad. Shiba Inu is more like a beanie baby. You know, it's a fad and then it goes the fuck away and nobody ever talks about it anymore. So I think that Shiba Inu could actually trade to zero and never come back. Doge, I do think actually will come back. We just might get to a penny first. Stock market, Canada has a tax-free retirement and savings account. You can invest in Bitcoin miners? You sure a ticker, man, if it's in the stock market. I'm always so apprehensive of that kind of stuff because, well, mainly because there's so many cloud mining scams. That's like one of the number one scams. I'm not saying it's a scam. You know, if you're getting it through the stock market, it doesn't sound like it's anywhere near a scam. But I invest in mining and, you know, the hair on the back of my neck starts standing up. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you invest in mining? Who got to you? Who sold you a bunch of shit? Who sold you vaporware? Solana looks like, just like we said in the previous stream, we're getting real close to that capitulation point. I do think that both Solana and Avalanche experience another 50% drawdown before they find their floor. Not much to back that up aside from just that's the next major technical level if we do lose this support range. So if we lose this range right here, we'll probably come back to this range right here at around 15 bucks, 50% retracement. Hello, Blue. The night is dark and full of jungle. Yes, we're deep in the jungle. Deep in the jungle. Theta. Mara. Oh, that's what Mara is. They're exactly the same volatility as altcoins. So Mara is a mining company, I'm guessing, and you can buy the stock of the mining company. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, Mara is a wild one. I think we've looked at that chart in the past, and it's wild, man. It's all over the fucking map. Yeah, I think we probably, we either double bottom here at $5. You know what? There's a ton of support at $5. Psychological support, technical support. $5 looks like a pretty good area, actually. Obviously, we keep trending down. Yeah, technical, psychological, that's a good spot. All right, back to shitcoin bingo. Theta, same shit. We're below the 7. We're gonna stay below the 7. VeChain, all of these, pretty much all the charts in shitcoin bingo are exactly the same, with the exception of XRP. XRP just, guys, XRP's dead. XRP's fucking dead. If a coin goes through a whole bull market and doesn't break its previous all-time high, I think you can say it's dead. Zilliqa, same shit, below the 7. GMX has been performing well. I want nothing to do with GMX at these levels, but it did break out. It did rally. Did it get a new high? No, not a new high just yet, but it's trending up. It's trending up. Bearish divergence, low volume. I don't think there's a lot of strength to this move. For me, I don't want to touch GMX above 20 bucks. I will wait for at least, below $20, preferably even $10. I would love to pick up some GMX at $10. If it doesn't happen, I don't buy it. Simple as that. But this is an interesting one. Looks rare, looks shitty. Looks rare, looks like shit. Would you consider scalping in the bear market to roll profits into BTC? No. No, I would not. Liquidity is just so shitty in the bear market, and that creates two problems. First of all, funding rates get out of whack. I guess there's three problems. Second of all, market predictability. Like it's all about positioning yourself when there's an edge in the market. When the technicals are showing you that the trend is favorable for long positions, take long positions because you have a favorable edge to be taking long positions. When the market is showing you structure that is in a downtrend and the volatility is still high, short the market because the market is giving you a favorable edge for shorting the market. When the market is neutral and unpredictable and illiquid, you have no favorable edge. So I'm not going to short because there's not enough money in a short. You have to put a stop loss on a short, and there's a lot of volatility. I'm much more, in this part of the market cycle, I will just buy and move to a ledger. It's like campaign into a position. Then when, the market has a favorable edge to the bull side, now you can start getting cheeky. You can start looking at other stuff. You can start investing, start being more aggressive with your trades. So no, I'm not considering scalping. You mentioned mining Monero before. Where and how? How do you mine Monero? You get a computer and you download Monero Miner or something. Yeah, you need a really hardcore CPU. I would like to mine Monero, but I'm not set up to be mining Monero. And I'm also, a digital nomad. So being a miner and a digital nomad, those two don't really go hand in hand. XRP might have a long accumulation like Amazon. The use case is pretty big. Yeah, the use case is the exact same use case that Bitcoin does, except Bitcoin does it better, faster, cheaper. So I don't know what use case it has. Sorry, man. You're talking to somebody with an incredible amount of bias. I think XRP is absolute shitcoin, and it's shown us nothing but its ability to continue to fail. Gotta love me, right? Think of gold and silver mining companies. Yeah, I get it. Bitcoin has the same. Mara is a Bitcoin mining company. Let's take a look at Monero. Cumulative structure. And kind of like a macro massive cup and handle. But the problem with Monero is a lot of exchanges do not want to hold it because of the legal implications of holding a privacy coin. Like exchanges, especially these days, they have a lot of oversight and compliance that they need to honor. And if you're gonna, exchange privacy coins, a lot of regulators are not gonna like that. And because a lot of regulators are not gonna like that, a lot of exchanges are just gonna be like, you know what? It's fine. Just don't list it. It's very hard to get your hands on Monero compared to other cryptocurrencies. So its ability to rally is very difficult. It's not a great investment. I really like the product. I like how easy it is for you to be private with this coin. And that's the extent of it. I like the product. I really think that this one will struggle to rally until we start getting a much more robust Bitcoin infrastructure built out and kind of create DEXs on top of Bitcoin, and Monero becomes kind of plugged in, as they're already trying to do that. There's a lot of support for atomic swaps with Bitcoin and Monero. So it's a big part of the Monero community. It's a big part of the Bitcoin community. They kind of work together. Bitcoin's for saving, Monero's for spending. That's one of their narratives. So I do think that it could become easier to get your hands on. But as it stands right now, going to a regulated, centrally controlled exchange, really hard to get your hands on Monero. And so for that reason, it's very hard to get a bull market rally with it. If you want to see a massive cup and handle, look at Hive on the TSX. Yeah, Monero looks like it went way too deep to be for the handle to be valid. From a technical point of view, yeah, the handle is not supposed to go past 2/3, I think. 2/3 of the way down, so a 60, that would be a 618 retracement. So I think you're right. It's a little too deep, but regardless of the cup and handle, this is a very nice consolidation. This is a consolidation that's showing a lot of characteristics of accumulation. So what you need to see is we need to see a pop out of this. So we would need to get on top of this trading range, start breaking out some of the highs, consolidate, and then boom, once you break past this level, like if you set an alarm here at 343 and volume is increasing and there's kind of bullish momentum in crypto overall, I think that could be a really good entry. That could be a really good entry in Monero. Not financial advice, you guys got to do you. But and like I said, a really good entry in Monero, how good can it really be if nobody can buy it? You have to consider that. I really like Monero, but you have to consider the reality that it's very hard for people to buy. You can only rally so hard if people can't buy it. But yeah, that could be an interesting one. But realistically, what I expect is just more downside and then just a tighter range. So this will extend for probably another year before Monero is really postured for a good competitive edge for you to go long on it. Hive. Jesus. Yucky. Yucky. Yeah, that's volatility, man. For trading in the stock market, it's pretty hard to find anything more volatile than that. That's crazy. So potential Wyckoff accumulation could begin at this level. You got your seller's climax setting up with our potential automatic rally right here. So that's basically the trading range. And then you want to just see characteristics of accumulation from this point forwards. So get your secondary test, get a consolidation that shrinks, little fake out test, and then we're off to the races. Just heard a weird ass noise. Sounded like it was inside the apartment. Somebody's breaking in. Technically, that is still a valid cup and handle. This, Monero didn't retrace this low. This is basically setting up for a double bottom. Both are great setups, though. All right, I think that's it. What time is it? Yeah, that's it. I gotta get into the virtual classroom. Gotta set up for those guys in VIP if you guys are interested. Links below or scan the QR code for much wow. But yeah, that's all the time I have for today. If you guys would do me a favor, hit the like button. It does help out move these videos up the ranks in YouTube land so that people can see them. I guess, because people have huge demand to learn about crypto right now. But yeah, thank you all for joining into the live, and we will see you guys in the next stream. Please trade safe. It is a jungle out there. Peace.